Hello, welcome to the Special Moves podcast. My name is Mike Williams, and these guys are Jake Kukowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. It's episode 12. Good, that, innit?
Yeah, we're getting there. Just rolling on.
A dozen episodes of podcast greatness. Not goodness. Greatness.
Yes.
Probably the best podcast on the internet at this stage. Not the
Probably.
most popular.
Yeah.
But, you know.
People like it, don't they?
Yeah. It's about quality, not views, isn't it? And there's no question, in my mind anyway, that this is the best research, best cinematography.
The problem with no such thing as a fish is...
Best audio design.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've done it,
I was
haven't
just saying, this fish is a great podcast.
We've got video now as well. But if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and CastBox, hello to you guys. If you're listening in the car, in the bath, anywhere, hiya.
Jim, remember that?
Quite a lot
listeners.
of you guys listening. The Special Moves podcast is best enjoyed with a hot beverage. I'd recommend that, especially as we're getting into winter now.
Yeah. Not sponsored by any particular hot beverages.
Exactly.
Not yet, anyway.
Have Bovril for all I care. So we've got quite a lot going on.
Brought to you by Bovril.
Hey, that's me, you know,
That's
innit?
a good sponsor. We should give him a ring, mate.
Yeah, if you're listening, Bovril.
Yeah. Get in touch.
What we got
because
on?
we will read that ad. We are talking a little bit about Bloodborne in a minute because, of course, we are. And also, we've got some Fallout 76 impressions. We did talk about it last week based on what the reception was, but now you guys have both had a chance to play the beta.
More on that in a bit. You'll loads more.
Yeah, so we're going to talk quite a bit about Fallout 76, one of the big upcoming games. What else have you been playing, guys? Tetris Effect, Liam?
I played the full Tetris Effect off the back of the last video we did.
So let's just be absolutely clear. It came out, as of the time of recording, yesterday, which was Friday.
Yeah. Friday the 9th of November.
And you have...
I have finished it.
It's
not a long game by any means, but more on that in a bit.
But it was
It'd be more of a surprise if he hadn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I played Moonlighter, which got a recent release on the Switch. It's been out
for a while.
Yeah, it's still 2018, and it's so good. Like, I'll talk about that in a bit. It's a robbery that it's 70 odd on Metacritic. It's better than Celeste and that.
So because you came out of this game Moonlighter and it's an indie game and it looks really nice art style and stuff. And I'm thinking about picking it up on the Switch as well. Recently re-released on the Switch, and it doesn't look like an obvious kind of thing. But you were saying, oh, this is a Game of the Year possibility for yourself.
Yeah,
and then
this is big time.
Yeah.
I'll address that later because I think I know what it's down to, and it's down to they put lots of post-launch content in, and a lot of the reviews are
on the
that.
Day kind of thing.
So more on that later. So what's Bloodborne? Because it's this time of year, a lot of people are replaying Bloodborne. You know, people have been tweeting us.
No backseat hosting.
Oh, okay.
We've also got the new releases.
Right. Sorry, I thought it was over. Yeah. I forgot. It was just so full of content.
In this seat, all right?
Yeah. Sorry, man.
We got loads of new releases in the coming week.
Yes.
One of which I've already put my money down on.
I think all of us.
2 for me.
Yeah, and
I'm that sad.
Let's not say what though.
No,
I want them to think.
It'll be pretty obvious.
I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is that they've pre-ordered.
Because
that's what we've done. And we'll tell you later, I guess. But there's lots of big new releases in the coming week as well. Last week was really busy, but there was a lot of smaller games last week. This week there's quite a few big titles coming. Big at least in the sense that I think they will sell a lot. So that's coming up as well. So now we can talk about Bloodborne, Jake.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So Bloodborne, we all agree is the greatest game of all time. Yeah, that's right. Let's move on. They're always kind of digging out bosses and shit, aren't they? They're digging out...
It's like a treasure trove for data miners, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It took a while, because normally, like, when a game gets released on all the platforms, it's on PC, it's easier to data mine, but this is obviously PlayStation exclusive, so for whatever reason, it took a little bit longer. The game came out in 2015, right? So it was last year, Zuli the Witch, I think, is the mod that it really broke it open.
What a year 2015 was, by the way.
Yeah, The Witcher and Bloodborne, innit? That's all you need to know.
Metal Gear as well.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah,
there's a lot of big games.
Enhanced edition. Yeah, big one for me that though.
Best year.
Big
in recent years.
Yeah, big year. So Zuli the Witch, I think, is the person that broke this open last year.
Right.
And since then we've had just a slew of details. So what's this now? I didn't know about this.
Is in Bloodborne, there's a series of kind of randomly generated. It's like you put a seed kind of thing in and you get a dungeon and you can jump in. It's called the Chalice Dungeons. Now there are set ones that you just can go along and you have to kind of do that if you want to platinum the game. and there's a lot of extra content there outside of the main story. Now, this is the source of like a lot of this stuff. Like a lot of people, there's like loads of hidden. The whole point of the Chalice Dungeons is that you kind of delve through it and keep exploring and see what you get out of it.
Yeah.
And there's always like all the different layouts, different bosses in different situations and different, but people are actually going so deep and so far into it. They're finding stuff that was cut from the game. And then the one that's just been dug out by a guy called Lance McDonald, I think, is the guy who's done it this time. And it's a snake ball boss. They call it a snake ball boss. Jake, what are snake balls?
Right. Imagine,
it's a delicacy,
if you will, a snake, yeah? Loads of them in a ball. It's weird because it's the only part of Bloodborne, really, where I just was like, why are there snakes here all of a sudden?
Feels a bit more left, because everything's very
you can explain
beastie.
Away everything else, yeah. There's not much reptilian enemies, I guess. But then just before you get into the Shadow of Yharnam boss fight, which I guess leads to Birkenworth. So on the road to Birkenworth, there's like just
the Forbidden Woods area.
The Forbidden Woods, yeah. And then towards the end, you just find like these balls of snakes.
Yeah.
They're just literally snakes tangled up.
Yeah.
Like how headphones are if you put them in your pocket. But
that's
snakes.
very good.
Is it like a Rat King?
It's kind of like a Rat King, yeah, but yeah, like exactly.
Together.
So they're all tangled up, and they don't move. I think they can shuffle, but they don't move like
They
regular
kind of
pace.
you almost. I always when I see them, they always look like house robots from, or not even house robots. They look like the contestant robots from Robot Wars. I just imagine, because it's just kind of a dome with snakes coming out of it, and I just imagine there's like 3 little wheels in a triangle formation underneath, and then they just kind of roll along. But then, so there's these snake ball things in the Forbidden Woods area in Bloodborne, and then they kind of, that, and it's like a Souls-like game, so there's just different areas have got different challenges, and you kind of, the whole point is that you're constantly surprised. So the first time you see them, you think, oh, they're slow and shit, but then they kind of lash out at quite a good range, and they get you. And then you go further into the woods, there's a big ball of snake things, of course there is, and they can spit venom and shit at you, like big clouds of, so they're pretty horrible. So this is just like a very big one of them. But what's really interesting is that it's kind of, if you remember the Shadow of Yharnam boss fight, they can summon in huge
giant snakes.
It's that kind of, it's the part of that. And
all right.
So they were just kind of sifting through the files of this game to kind of, find what they could get, and they pulled the thread on this and went further and further. It was supposed to be in the Chalice Dungeon, so it wasn't, as far as I understand, because they are quite complicated, these stories, but as far as I understand, it wasn't meant to be in the game. It was meant to be in the Chalice Dungeons again.
Yes.
So this randomly generated, seeded kind of area of stuff. This is like where it was supposed to be. Have you spent any time in the Chalice Dungeons?
Yeah, minor amount really. Like I didn't even do this what we'd probably call the story Chalice Dungeons, I guess. The main path that leads to the platinum. Yeah. So there is like one thread, but you have the ability to you can put in, like, if you can remember worms, when that come out and you used to put a seed code in, you could just make up random letters and it would generate a map. That's how it works, like you were saying at the beginning. But I did one of them maybe, but it was a low level one because I just started, and it was completely, I don't know, there was nothing to write home about at all, to be honest. Just a couple of like basic ghouls, some of those giants with the hammer fist. It is
the kind of thing where it doesn't feel anywhere near as like artistic and curated as the game, the actual story, but it's one of those things where if you absolutely love the game, and people do have like this obsessive, and I obviously understand that it is my favourite game, to the point where I forced it on you two as your favourite game at the start of this podcast.
Exactly.
I understand where they come from, and you want to spend more time in that game.
Yeah.
But what the Chalice Dungeon does is like reward really long commitment by giving you a little bit of something else, something new after extended play. So when you find something like this, it's like pretty massive. It also surprises me that's why I love these stories so much, is not only because I love Bloodborne, but because it's like 3 years after the game's come out, people are still desperate to find stuff, and they get a whiff of something, and they keep looking and looking and looking. The biggest thing about the snake thing is the snake ball is that it's bigger than Vicar Amelia, which is a big boss, in physical size, quite a big boss. So this is bigger than that even, and the fact I really like the fact that it's linked to a boss that is in the game that you think just summons magical snakes or something to attack you, but it's actually another boss, which is quite
very
cool.
weird. Very cool though.
What about your experience in the Chalice Dungeons, Liam? Did you do any of it?
No, like Jake, I pretty much only dabbled in it for a little bit. Didn't get too far into it. I just wanted to play the main game. I didn't even, as soon as I finished the main game, I just pretty much stopped playing Bloodborne. I didn't go back into the dungeons or anything.
You'd done it and then you went out
I just kind of had a go of it to say I've had a go of it. I never got deep into it like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But I might go back someday. I don't know.
That DLC
Maybe.
is worth it.
I've gone back.
Yeah, I've still not played Old Hunters, so
yeah.
It's actually a really nice bit of DLC. I've not played any Dark Souls DLC.
It's just as good as Bloodborne. It's it's just as important to the story as well.
Yeah.
I'd say, especially the first one.
Artorias is great.
Yeah.
I went back and played
Dark Souls 1.
Yeah,
right.
Which is the story of the guy that fought off the abyss single-handedly. But it's quite a sad story. But then again, it always is in Dark Souls. And the third one as well, the Ringed City and stuff, talks about the epilogue, literally the end of time. It's really good, really, really decent. Probably.
I've been fancying going back into Bloodborne again recently, but I've done it a lot, so there's nothing else for me to see apart from, like I was saying, jump into the Chalice Dungeons and just see what happens.
Challenge yourself.
Try and maybe look up some of these bosses that have been cut and try and follow the glitches and stuff that get you to But I haven't really, like I said, I've completed the Dark Souls trilogy, but I haven't played any of them.
3 again. Probably your best bet.
I really like 3.
Yeah,
Dark Souls 3 is great.
It's good DLC for it as well.
I controversially kind of rank it higher than the other Dark Souls games as well.
No, it's
just I don't know why. I really liked it.
My sister and brother-in-law just finished it. They did it the whole thing co-op, invading each other's worlds and doing it. Cool. I know it's a weird thing, but they said that their problem was they have to do everything twice. So Dan would invade Kate's world, and then they would do the boss on her bit, but then her progress wasn't there. So then it'd have to be the other way around. So they have to do every boss twice.
That's some real commitment.
Yeah. They did the whole game, and they were even
finished it twice.
That should have been streamed, man.
They did a DLC. Yeah, if you're listening, Dan or Kate, what was the hardest boss again? Oh, I tell you what, I think it was the Abyss Watchers they struggled with. Anyway, this isn't about that or them. But if you are listening, let us know in the comments, and we can give it a little heart.
The first Lord of Cinder, I believe.
Yeah, they'll tell us.
The ones they keep spawning. There's it starts out one. And then they keep rising up,
Keep, I think.
And they fight. They can fight each other as well.
Yeah, because you get there's a cutscene where one kills another one.
That's
right?
it. That's it.
Then,
yeah.
And they just keep
pretty
resurrecting.
Sure it was that. But anyway,
it's a good fight. That.
Yeah, mad and Bloodborne, mad as well.
Magic. It's a game about madness.
Yeah. Oh, so legitimately mad.
Especially
mad. Do you want me to? Can I segue into Moonlighter?
Do you want to
randomly generated dungeons?
Moonlighter before Fallout.
Well, it's because
I thought you were going to try and go from the moon presence to Moonlighter.
All right, Liam's done it. Yes, Moonlighter.
That's what I thought you were going for.
I was going to say, speaking of randomly generated dungeons, but whatever.
That's well better. The moon. It's got moon in it.
Yeah,
Bloodborne's all about the moon.
Yeah,
cool. Well, the Moonlighter's the name of a shop, so it's actually pretty shit and underwhelming compared to the fucking moon.
So Moonlighter, we are now not talking about.
Yeah, so Moonlighter. Let's do Moonlighter.
Moonlighter is the idea of you open this is me asking.
Yeah, sure.
You run a shop.
Yeah.
But you're moonlighting as a dungeon explorer type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But your shop's
you get the stuff from the dungeon to sell in your shop, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Good premise.
So it's finding your own stock.
Yeah. Exactly. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Because it's whenever you're playing Zelda and that, and you go into the shop and you're like, how did you get this mad sword? How did, in Divinity Original Sin, how is Trade the Haran or whatever getting all these fucking mad bits of gear?
Do you know what?
Of course, he's just buying them from other explorers.
Quick Red Dead Redemption mention. I hope that their thing of NPC, spending loads of time on NPCs, and if you follow an NPC around, is actually amazingly detailed, right? I really hope that gets picked up in Skyrim and stuff, so that when you're looking at a sword. This is the best thing in Red Dead Redemption, I think. So if you're looking at a sword, you're like, some guy came through and sold this sword to me. And then you find the guy out in the world somewhere, and he's like, I don't know why, I wish I had that sword, but I sold it. Wow. It needs that level of...
my sword, give it back.
Give some NPCs some
Give me a ring, Bethesda.
So let me tell you about Moonlight, right? The biggest robbery of the year so far. It's pretty simple premise. There's a town, and you play as a guy called Will, and you've got a shop called Moonlighter. That's the name of the shop, yeah? So it's not...
So they give you a name. You can't...
No.
You're a character.
Yeah. You're a character called Will, yeah. It doesn't really matter, because they don't really call you Will. They just call you, like, the hero and shit. Anyway, point is...
Just let me type my own name in that case.
There's two types of people...
Let me be Mike.
There's two types of people in the world, yeah. There's heroes and there's merchants, and you're a merchant, but... In the local dungeons, because there's local near the town has these local dungeons, yeah, and there's
maintained by the local council.
Well, they full on are. So there's 5 dungeons, but some shit went down, and they basically closed off all of the dungeons. They were like, no, this is a health and safety risk. So they shut off all the dungeons.
Just don't have the budget anymore.
Apart from the little shit one called the Golem dungeon, which is just like a very low stakes dungeon. There's golems in it and that. And your Will
safe enough for the public to access.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like there's like a nice portal, so it's not too bad. And so Will, you're like the last guy in charge of your shop. I don't know what happens to your parents. I don't know if it mentions it. Some mad old man anyway comes up and he says, you need to stop doing this. You're going to get into some trouble. You go down to the dungeons anyway because you've got a shop to run, and you need to. I don't know why all the people in the town love trinkets. It does kind of make fun at that they're obsessed with collecting like trinkets and rods. And there's adventurers that...
rods?
Oh, yeah, iron rods from golems. Yeah, man.
Right. I was say like magical rods. That's like a thing in Final Fantasy.
Well, kind of, yeah. They do get a bit magical towards the end.
They call me the Rod Collector.
Yeah, Will the Rod Collector. So you play as Will the Rod. And there's adventurers that come past and they want gear and that. So it's basically, Stardew Valley on steroids.
I didn't want to say the word Stardew Valley, but it does sound a bit like that.
It's obviously, like, now, I don't know how long they've been working on this game, but if somebody told me they've looked at Stardew Valley and gone, my favourite bits are going in the dungeon and killing the slime, and then I don't really like farming, but what about if I just ran a shop and sold the stuff I got?
Yeah.
That's how they came up with the idea. I'd be like, yeah, of course
it is a nice premise.
It's executed bloody wonderfully. It's so good, right? Music is spot on, by the way. Best soundtrack I've heard this year, I reckon.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah. I was going to tweet and I thought, I have to think about this.
I need to hear that before.
It's very cool. Panpipey, 8-bitty sort of stuff. Loads of Zelda
I don't know
cues.
what my favourite soundtrack is.
Loads
God
of
of War I
cues.
really liked.
It had some big bits, didn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so, I'm really enjoying the game now. The criticism for this game, before I go into the gameplay loop, is that it was very short. I'm like 12 hours in, and I'm on dungeon number 2 out of 5. Okay, so by the time I finished it, I'm going to be about...
the reviewers at the time.
Yeah, at the time were saying it was very short, and I looked at some of the issues that they had with it, and I don't find any of it applies to me at all, and I can see that the game is still ongoing, and in fact the people that are making it are thinking of adding in pets next, so you can take a little cat with you down the mines.
So you're playing it on the Switch, right?
Well, I'm actually playing it on the PS4 for this. I have it on the Switch and on the PS4.
Right.
The code is provided to me by 11-bit Studios who gave me the game.
For
PS4. So I had to pay for it on the Switch. So I got it for free on PS4.
And it's been on PS4 for a while. Yeah. It's just come on the Switch.
And all it was I wanted to install it on the Special Moves account on PS4 for everybody. So I went on there, clicked it, downloaded it, and I realised it was only 500 meg. So I thought, I'm here now, I'll start playing it. And I can get trophies in it. So I start playing it on the PS4, and I'm just stuck on it now. I don't want to start it again.
But you have got it on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But when it comes to the game loop, I don't know how much of it's random and how much of it is the same.
Okay.
And I found that I've had some good luck with what you get. So I'm going all over the place here. So let me just boil it down to the gameplay loop. The dungeons are procedurally generated. It's a day and night cycle, just like Stardew Valley, and you can run your shop in the daytime and sell the stuff that you get from the dungeons at the night time. The issue is that to get to dungeon number 2, you have to finish dungeon number 1. There's 3 floors, Golem dungeon floor, 1, 2, 3, and there's a big boss.
So you got to kill the boss, is that how you finish it?
You got to kill a boss, take his crest thing, and it unlocks the second dungeon. The local council say, "Oh right, you've cleared dungeon 1. Right, we'll open number 2."
Can I ask? Does it have the SteamWorld Dig sort of I don't know, is it Metroidvania or roguelike even where you kind of you go in a bit, you come back, you go in even further, and you kind of you explore. You go a bit deeper every time, or do you just do the dungeon and come out?
Well, it's so you're limited to your health. If you die, you lose all your stuff, right? So you've got a backpack and you can fit 20 things in there. So you're going around looting and stuff. Let's say
so you might go part way into the dungeon, come back, sell and stock your shop up, and go and then go back to the dungeon and go even further.
Yeah, but when you go back, it's different. when you go back, the dungeons reset itself.
Oh, right.
So you can't explore it all and stuff. That's what gives it this replayability.
Right. Okay.
Now, so that's what because you've got this amulet and it teleports you back to your shop. But when you do that, and you go back into the dungeon, it's completely reset itself.
How do they explain that in the story? Do they say it? Does it just?
Yeah, no, there is explanation. It's to do with magical portals and stuff, yeah. But later on in the game, very, very minor spoiler, like an hour in, you get the ability. So it costs you like 300 gold to get yourself out with the amulet.
Right.
But you can use a portal. You can make a portal, which when you use in the dungeon to get out. And then when you go back through that portal, the dungeon's the same dungeon. So you can eventually do what you're saying, explore the same one and loot everything.
Yeah.
But that costs significantly more, like 2,000 gold rather than 300.
Because you might have a backpack full of stuff. Loads of stuff that you want to gather, but you have to leave that.
Exactly. So as you're getting more money and stuff like that, and you're getting further into the dungeon, you've got a backpack worth of, you got 20k worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So spending 2,000 on a portal's worth it.
Yeah.
So with your money that you earn from your shop, because by the way, when you run your shop, you can set your prices. So you want to try and figure out a sweet spot. So the prices are set by 4 face gauges. There's a sad face, an okay face, a happy face, and a face where their eyes are coins because it's a bargain.
Like real business.
Yeah. So you don't have
do you have to run the shop? Do you have to do the shop stuff?
Well, so obviously you put your items down and set the price. So what's handy, because there's so many items, let's say the rods, they're 50 coins,
Yeah, and they're in demand, and everyone wants to be on a
rod. Speaking of this, they're in demand because no one's got any rods about. You put them down for 50, yeah? Someone has a sad face, that's too much for a rod. So
give them a rod, though.
So you change the price to 30, and you can see they're in a sweet spot. You might be selling...
And then it becomes an affordable rod.
Yes.
A rod that you can...
Do you have to haggle with them?
Well, you set the price to whatever, right? So
they're just like, well, I'm not buying that, and then you've got to adjust the price so that they will.
Yeah, but rods are high in demand, 30 gold. Then everyone's buying a rod.
Of course they are.
Now you've got a town full of rods. They're not in demand anymore, so all of a sudden, 30 is a bit... So you've got 2 choices. You can either stop selling rods for a couple of days, and then maybe people will start getting hungry for them again. Or if the only thing that you've got from the dungeon is rods, you have to knock the price down.
Right.
So you're having to adjust to what the need and demand and want and shit like that.
Yeah, it's a whole economy to it.
There is, but because there's loads of items, you might forget. Oh shit! How much was that rod again? 30. There's a cool thing in your journal where you can see where the price sweet spot is that you've set already. So you can see people thought it was a bargain at 20. They were happy at 30, so you can set that.
What is the division of how much time do you spend shopkeeping and how much time do you spend dungeon crawling?
Don't know. I spend about 20% of the time selling the shop. So when you open your shop for the day, it's on a day and night cycle. You've got your sun to moon dial, which is what all indie games use for your day cycle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're just sitting there.
Because that's just what it is as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but you guys know what I'm on about, innit, when you hear it.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there selling stuff. As soon as someone someone buys something, you've got space on your shelf, so you put enough item there.
Yeah.
But you can expand. What do you do with all your money? Right? Close your shop for the day. Then you can either put money into the town and expand the town.
Oh, nice.
So you can maybe hire a blacksmith, Andre the blacksmith, just like Dark Souls.
So you become like a local entrepreneur
if you want, or you can fuck all that off and just make your shop better.
Right.
Because I've hired a blacksmith, Andre the blacksmith. This woman who makes enchantments and potions, so she can give me health potions.
He's named Andre?
Yeah, he really is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's obviously... And there's loads of references to shit like that. And there's a witch that makes potions with slime that you get from the dungeons, and then that means I've got health potions, so when I'm running low on health in a dungeon, I can just use a health potion.
From the witch.
But I've also got a retailer who's now my enemy. I brought him to the town so I could maybe buy some fabric or stuff that I needed rather than having to try and source it. But yeah, and he puts up signs outside my shop saying come to his name's Le Retailer.
You're a dungeon explorer, why don't you just go fuck him up?
Well, speaking of fucking people,
smash those signs down.
Right? Yeah,
you got loads of rods.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go batter him with a rod.
So speaking of fucking people up, right? I've expanded my shop now as well. I've got a bigger shop. I've got more places that I can put items, but I've got a bigger area to watch. And thieves come in to try and shoplift. So you have to tumble with them, knock them out. Honestly, what you do is you do a leap and dive.
That's a Danny Dyer turn of phrase.
When I say
tumble with them,
you actually do a somersault at them, and then you roll like in a dust ball, like animals fighting in a cartoon. And then you take the item.
Can you hire staff?
I don't know, but I think you might be able to as the shop gets better because I've only expanded my shop size once. I've got a better till now. My place is looking pretty swanky, and people give you tips now because it looks good. And my shop has expanded, but you can have a second floor. So then I'm going to be managing. Yeah. You can see how now this management is me running upstairs, swapping items. It gets a bit overcooked at that point.
Yeah, it seems like if you're on Dungeon 2 and there's loads to go, you're gonna need the shop. Town building side to grow as well, aren't you? So that kind of makes sense.
Because the thing is, this is a thing that I've just done. So to beat the Golem King in Dungeon 1, I spent a lot of my money on paying Andre to build me new stuff. So you get different weapons. You can have sword, spear, big two-handed sword, and bow and arrow, like how Monster Hunter's got a variety and stuff. So I've got a spear, and then I went down to the dungeon to find, I think it was rods actually, and a couple of other bits and bobs, some crystals, golem crystals, to make it a better spear, and armor and stuff like that. But that was all money I could have spent. I could have sold them rods for more. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of balanced stuff like that. So you can either spend your gold on equipment, potions, upgrading the town, upgrading the shop. So your town and your shop are separate, and it's all good, like how you manage your time, and it's so many little nice things. But it's like a series of mini games basically. But it all feels so. I don't know. There's a lot to it.
Cohesive.
It does, yeah. I say that word a lot, so I was trying to avoid it. But there was a lot of that. Good. The fact that it's in day and night cycles is cool, and you get little. I've upgraded my bed now, so when I go to sleep, I've got 50% extra health.
You got a memory foam mattress in there.
I got a memory foam mattress, mate. Yeah. So now I get 50% health. So it makes me look forward to the night time because it's bedtime. So now when I look forward to, but listen to this for like a nice little carrot on a stick cycle. Yeah. I look forward to going to the dungeons because I'm going to get something to sell. Yeah. Then I look forward to selling it because I get the money, and then I look forward to spending that money. Then when that day's over, I think, I can go to sleep now and I get 50% more health for the next day. It constantly is full of these little and this and then
and
this.
The gameplay loop is complete because that's
and it's fantastic.
A nice cycle.
Yeah, dungeons are very Zelda-y. You fall down holes. There's lots of flying enemies. You can smash vases over their little heads. You can have 2 different weapon types at a time. Slick combat, amazing music. It's not short like everyone's saying. Yeah. There's a speed run of trophy if you finish the game in less than 10 hours. But the way I'm playing it, I'm going to be about 40 hours on this boy. And I'll tell you something, I am loving it. And it's come out this year. The fact that it isn't Celeste level review, it's a robbery. It's a robbery. It's so worth it.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it? Where firstly, it's funny how a game can come out and then improve over time, possibly. Yeah. And be a completely different game, and then later should maybe it will. Maybe there will be people who have revisited it.
I think so.
And throw it out for Game of the Year,
especially with it coming out on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it gives people a chance to have another look at it,
revisit it.
Yeah. Well, so exactly. Or for the first time, and they're adding pets into it now. So like I was just saying about the dungeon. Let's say you get a cat, that might move your agility, or they'll have all the different pets that you can collect will have different abilities and stuff like that, which seems like a cool feature to have. So cool. Yeah, I'm well warm on this game, and you know what? I've played no Red Dead Redemption because I've just been playing this. I could have been 10 extra hours in to Red Dead, but it's just properly good.
And again, that's not because it's on the Switch and more convenient. It's literally on the same flipping platform as Red Dead. You're just choosing to play.
Exactly. It's there. I've got them both digital. I've got them both there. They're one click away. It's literally move to the right and click on Red Dead. But no, I'm on Moonlighter.
Yeah, I like it. Okay,
Very
so
nice.
You've been playing Tetris Effect.
I have. The full game, which is out now.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
What? Is it just Tetris?
So it's Tetris, and which, is Tetris. Everyone knows Tetris. Mm-hmm. But it's got new visuals, new music tied to it. Basically, it's from a studio called Enhance, who they make very trippy games like Rares and Lumines.
Right, which you're a big fan of.
I'm a big fan of their previous games. And so when they tackled Tetris, I was like, that'll probably be good. And it's still kind of a hard game to describe, because it's the closest I can describe it to is games like Journey. So Tetris Effect is kind of similar to games like Journey, where you play it and you get this weird sense of amazement from it, and
Tetris. It's mad, isn't it?
And reviews have described it as almost spiritual. It's so
Tetris,
weird.
Yeah.
And the whole game is the campaign literally says you want to go experience a journey and voyage into the emotion of the soul or something like that.
Nah, that's no thanks.
But like,
just normal Tetris.
Yeah, it's still really weird to describe because it is at its core, it is just Tetris.
Yeah.
But the music and the visuals and the controls and how, like, because the vibration on the PS4 controller is in perfect time to like the drum beat in the songs.
Right.
And so it all ties together to make this like really, it's like almost hypnotic package.
It must be. Everyone is like raving about this. So it must be very good at all
I've seen Game of the Year thrown about already about
Red Dead Redemption
about Tetris. Yeah.
Oh no, do you know what? I don't think Red Dead is going to be. No. I reckon it'll get a few, but I think God of War is really probably. I mean, in terms of pure scores, Red Dead is still up, like it's the highest. I think, isn't it, of the year, But yeah, I think God of War is going to be just segue here. I think God of War is going to be fucking giving it a run for its money in terms of AAA terms, and then in indie terms, there's all sorts of contenders there, including this one. So
so it's not a long game at all or anything. I finished it in like 4 hours.
How much is it?
This is a sticking point for a lot of people. It's actually 35 quid on PSN Store, and if this
same price on PSN Store as
which is 3 games fully remade. Yeah. If it was like £15-20, I'd recommend this in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
But because of the price and the fact that it's such a tough game to recommend, because you don't like everyone will have a different experience playing this game,
and you specifically love this kind of experience where it's very like visual and electrically kind of, you know, it's very like ethereal.
It's kind of like an art game almost, I'd say.
Okay, don't let that become a thing, please. Right, no. YouTubers, don't start saying that, please.
But it's
Reddit and Reset Era. Stop. Do not say art game. Liam gets to say it because it's cool, but I mean.
Yeah. That is honestly the closest thing I can describe it to without just saying it's Tetris, because it's got different game modes and stuff like challenge modes, variations on Tetris. Like there's one where every so often the big line blocks will drop down. You've got to like sort of build a pattern around that. So when that one drops down, it'll clear the lines and everything. And it's got one where some of the blocks are corrupted. You've got like purifying, bit Candy Crushers, I guess.
Oh, okay.
You know, like where they have the chocolate blocks you have to break down and shit like that.
So the essential elements are still basically it's just a rectangle with shapes falling in it.
Yeah, and you've got to clear them.
Within that, they've added some little variants for some of it.
And there's loads. Like it's designed to keep you replaying a lot because there's a whole level up system where I think you can go to rank 100 or whatever. It's like a whole meta system. And then there's leaderboards. There's weekly events that you can take part in. It's designed to keep you coming back, playing it like a few hours a day, maybe.
35 quid, you have to have that. And they're probably hoping that, it'll become maybe a bit of a dip in once a week game.
I think that's exactly what they want.
It's like live game type stuff. You make Tetris a live game. It would be so easy to just, I mean, it's not easy, but it'd be so straightforward to just add in different challenges and different, like festive variations of what the audiovisual stuff is and that.
If they add in stuff like new stages, because each stage has got like a unique theme to it, its own song to go along with it.
Yeah.
And if they do that, I can see it lasting a long time.
Yeah, it'll probably stay installed, especially if it's only digital, right? So
it's like 2 gig, if that the size.
Yeah, it's probably going to stay installed for a lot of people, and they'll just jump in and see what's new.
Yeah.
But currently it is 35 quid for a 3-hour, 4-hour game.
It does get quite challenging, to be fair, in the later stages. Like on the last level, because the speed gradually increases the further you get into the story mode.
Yeah.
So the later stages you do, the faster they get.
Yeah.
And even on normal, I struggled a lot on the last stage because it was so fast. Like the blocks were falling before I could even position them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how do people play at this level?
Yeah.
But it's I don't know, it's such a good game.
Yeah.
It is a very, very good game. Yeah. But it's that price point.
If you're going to do Tetris, unless you're just putting it on mobile, you've got to do something interesting with it. Otherwise,
you've got to do
no one's
something
going to
unique.
give a shit.
Yeah.
So that's
Tetris Effect is a very unique game.
Yeah. So it sounds it.
Yeah, it's just that price point. That price point is a real sticking point for a lot of people.
Okay.
And I don't blame them. But other than that, it is a very, very good game.
Do you know what it's on all the platforms?
It is only on PS4 and PSVR at the minute.
Right. And you haven't been playing
I haven't tried it in PSVR, but apparently I saw one review describe it as a spiritual cocoon. Yes, I saw that.
Right.
It's really, because there is more to the game. It sounds like it's a game that's been made for people who want to go on like an acid trip or something.
Liam, what's the last level called again?
So the last level is actually called Metamorphosis.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, you can see where we got that cocoon thing from now, can't you?
Yeah.
But it is a very good game.
End of 2001 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like.
So we've had Art Game, which is staying here.
Yeah.
Liam can say that as much as he wants. Say it again next week if he wants. But the rest of you, no. Spiritual Cocoon.
That wasn't Liam.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Liam doesn't even get to say that. No one on this table gets to say Spiritual Cocoon.
That wasn't me though. That was a review
that was
I read.
quoting.
I was quoting a review.
Right. So
that's it. Hey, I'll tell you what. You can have it if you use it as a PlayStation username. Innit? Spiritual Cocoon.
That's allowed.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to poke fun at it.
Yeah.
By using it as a name and wearing it with pride.
Yeah.
So Fallout 76. Now that's the big game that you guys have been playing.
Yep.
Which was limited availability this week, wasn't it? So
yeah.
when was it?
It was the 8th of November from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m. UK time.
So you had a specific window.
Yeah. So that's when the server was live.
Yeah. Let me just preface this with something really fast. Yeah. We have done a good job, I think, on our channel of playing nearly every game we talk about. Apart from when we talk about games that haven't come out. Yeah, exactly, sure. So, we don't just read, Reddit headlines and whatever. Fallout 76 was one where we were talking about it from the outside because none of us were confident enough in the game to drop money on it to pre-order it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking at it from a point of view that we don't normally on this channel take, which is kind of... We were looking at what other people were saying.
We're 2 months old. But.
Yeah, but in all of the content that we have put out, nearly all of it, we have played every game we talk about. And that's something we should be proud of because anybody can get in front of a webcam and chat shit about Battlefield 5 or chat shit about the state of the industry or Patrick Soderlund or whatever you want to do. Anyone can do it because you just have to read Reddit. That is it. But we don't do that. We play every game that we talk about. And even when we started and we had no money and our following was 1,000, we're still doing it. Fallout 76 was the time when we didn't have a chance to do it. So that was the one time we did it. But people in our comment section were saying, I've played it and I've had a nice time with it, whatever, right? One person in particular, Janet, had said, and she watches all of our stuff, was like, you guys haven't really given it a chance. You haven't even played it, whatever. And, whatever, we haven't played it. So she had sent some codes to us to try it for ourselves.
All right.
So we accepted them. So, Janet, if you're listening, thank you very much. We were going to play together, actually, with Janet.
Didn't they do a friend thing?
So, if you pre-order it, you got 3 codes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So look,
thank you, Janet.
And in fact, just thank you to Janet, a lot of our since then, this is what's interesting, this is something that you should note, the kind of reason I'm bringing this up.
Yeah.
Since we brought it up, and we were a bit, that's a bit weird, isn't it, about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Loads of people...
we were talking based on... previews from magazines
and that bug that it was deleting itself and whatever.
Oh yeah, sure. And the news basically.
But quite a few people not only came to Fallout's defense, but a lot of people who have pre-ordered it had offered us codes. We've got about 5 DMs of people that were going to give us codes. So Janet was the first person to offer the codes, and we accepted them, and that was on the PC. But there was other people, Frozen Monkey, and a lot of our other patrons were offering us all these codes. So loads of people wanted us to try it out.
Yeah.
So we did. It was actually Mike's birthday on the day that the beta went live, so didn't partake.
I was really busy eating halloumi fries and drinking beer. So
I was
unable to
celebrating your birthday, mate. Yeah, exactly. So me and Liam did, and we were going to play with Janet, but there was a bug that day, of all things, where she couldn't access her friends list. So we ended up playing with another one of our patrons, Frozen Monkey. So if you keep hearing me refer to a monkey in this, a frozen one, it's Frozen Monkey. So it started off, me and Liam played it. During this time.
Yeah, we played the little opening tutorial bit together.
Okay.
So once you leave the vault, that's when you can start inviting friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So as soon as we were both out of the vault and we got past that bit, we met.
How good is that bit? Because that's always my favourite
bit. It was ruined for me, I'll tell you that.
So what happens is when you spawn, proximity chat is on straight away, and you spawn in the vault with other players. So you can hear other players, and Jake and I both had a weird thing where...
We were in different servers at this point.
We were on different servers, yeah. But the people were just
ridiculous.
They were okay for me. They were kind of they didn't realise they could hear each other until it was a bit too late. And so they were all like nervously laughing at each other, going like, "How you doing, mate? Yeah, are you okay?"
Yeah,
and just like laughing awkwardly and trying not to interact with each other.
Right.
My mic was muted, so I just carried on and left.
Yeah.
But for me, right, it was like, I think I was on with a Twitch streamer. So when I started, it was about 4 minutes after the game had gone live, right? So the character creation screen comes up, yeah, and I could just hear a guy go. Character creation, baby! He was like in full Twitch streamer mode, and he was like, "Right, what have we got here? Phase 1, sex, right, all this, yeah." So I was like, trying not to laugh, right? So I muted my mic, and then I just made my character, who looks like Bradley Cooper. Got on.
Was that on purpose?
He's just like the default face looks like Bradley Cooper.
I picked a default character who looks very similar.
It's proper Bradley Cooper, especially in A Star Is Born. Anyway, yeah. So I start this game, and I can hear these guys talking. All right, it's not in English. I don't know where they were from, so I didn't know what they were saying. And then I could just hear someone else in English go, "Hey, can you hear them Swedish people?" And then there's these guys who
was that Kurt Russell?
Let's just assume, Sweden. Yeah, let's just assume that they were Swedish. When we can hear you, you know. And then at that point, I was like, I'm just running through this vault. I'm getting out of this vault, right? So it kind of ruined the immersion for me because I could hear these.
Yeah, this is exactly
these Swedish people and these people from Yorkshire arguing, and some Twitch streamer like going, "What have we got here, baby?"
Can you mute this?
You can mute it, yeah.
Can you mute it before you start the game?
No.
Yeah, you didn't.
Literally, the game was playing its like opening cutscene, transitioning into the because like every Fallout game, you sort of like wake up, don't you?
Yeah.
Like I was hearing people as that opening little animation.
You would flipping hate that, right?
Look, but I didn't have anything like Jake. I just had awkward people like scared of each other.
So I messaged Liam on WhatsApp because there's no like, I don't think there's any text chat or whatever.
Right.
Maybe there is. I might be wrong.
I think there is, but obviously we couldn't.
You're playing on PS4, by the way, right?
No, PC.
Oh, right, okay.
And we're in different servers. So I said to Liam, when you're at the vault, let me know, and I'll join your lobby. So I joined. I think there's 25 odd people in a server at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
So we joined. We hadn't met Frozen Monkey yet. We played for about an hour before we joined up with him. And so we did. Me and Liam were just literally sticking like glue to each other.
Yep.
We were talking the whole time now, not on Discord. We were talking through the chat.
Okay. So people could hear us if they came near us.
Because it's proximity chat. So me and Liam were just chatting away, doing a regular quest. The first like 5 levels, because remember there's a level system, is all like literally teaching you how to get water.
Like teaching you how to craft, how to purify water so you don't get like rad poison and stuff like that.
Because you do have to eat and drink a lot. So one of the missions is like, go and get some water, boil it, drink it.
One of them teaches you how to make a ribeye steak.
Yeah, so the quest is very MMO-ish, the quest system.
That's exactly
Now, as soon as level 5 hits, PvP's on.
You get a big pop-up on your screen saying PvP enabled.
By the way, I love the way you were doing this. It's like very Ant and Dec. You just went, and when you hit level 5, PvP's on. As soon as you said that, you take a seat, take a back seat, you rest a bit, because Liam's coming in there with some additional information.
And what's even more exciting for you is that you've never heard this
I don't
story,
know this
story.
story.
This is all new.
So PvP comes on now, boy.
Right.
And we were getting kind of followed by this guy in like some sort of Halloween skeleton onesie.
He looked like he was fresh out of the purge.
Yeah, level 14.
He was level 14, and he was like, wait until we hit level 5.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? He knew. So as soon as we hit level 5, we crouched in a church.
Right.
I went to get a drink in real life to calm the old nerves.
How balanced is if you're level 5 and he's level 14, can you reasonably fight him?
We didn't try.
Yeah, like he was just like sort of him. He was with a mate who was like level 10 or something.
Right. Yeah.
And they were just sort of like following us around. Like they were
not speaking to us really.
No, and like they kept trying to like stab us when we were level 4 and stuff. So luckily PvP wasn't on, so they couldn't do anything to us. But they just kept like almost stalking us. It was
if you're
a bit
listening
creepy.
to the audio version of this podcast, Mike's soul I can see is dripping out of his ears. I think it's brain fluid.
It's just
So
it's just confirming.
As you can imagine, I was having a nice time talking to everybody that was going past in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're right, and no one was replying to me. Yeah.
No, just like real life.
Just exactly. Yeah. I'm giving them the love hearts and that whatever.
Yeah.
So after the tutorial is where the game kind of blossoms. Because the quests get a little bit more interesting.
All right.
Because the quests at the beginning, like any MMO, like honestly, nearly every MMO has pretty wank intro, right? It was just proper shit, the intro. And there's something not very Fallout about that very, very, very beginning part. Because
definitely.
Right,
but that's my issue with it. Because just because of how in Fallout it sounded and how in Fallout...
On the surface, it is very Fallout. Like, you get the Pip-Boy, the interface looks the same, your character creator is the same that you know from other Fallout games.
Yeah.
So on a surface level, it is very similar to other Fallout games.
It's just that you hear pricks.
Well, speaking of, there's a lack of human NPCs, so it's like you've got a lot of the bad and not that much of the good.
Yeah.
But just because it's not...
Come on, boys, convince me.
It's not as... Well,
we're getting there.
Yeah, it's not as Fallout-ish as you'd imagine. But the game kind of opens up then, and the map is pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty bloody big, to be fair.
Is it as
nice
good
and
as,
varied as well?
Is it as good as a single-player Fallout map? Or any Bethesda?
I'll say this, right? A lot of the buildings that me and Liam went to, you can't go in them. They were all boarded up, and I don't know if that's a beta thing, but it was very kind of PUBG. Liam said, and it's spot on. I think it's got a very PUBG vibe about it.
Yeah, like you can hear distant gunfire and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like you can hear like a gun battle going on in PUBG.
Yeah.
You can kind of hear that like in 76 as well, where you can hear people like popping off at stuff.
Yeah, the map has definitely been stretched to fit people in, but yeah, a lot of the buildings were closed off. Now there's a lot of buildings that are open as well, but the one thing about Fallout is every time you see a building, it's an event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every time you see a structure in Fallout, you can go there. In this, it's not like that.
Fallout 3 had quite a few boarded up ones. So
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, it is more. So you'll have one area, like let's say I don't know, you go to like a ghost town. 5 of the houses will be shut. 4 of them will be open or something like that. There's always something to do. I'm not saying there's like empty assets, but it's just weird because in Fallout 4, every time you saw something, you knew it was going to be something like that. But anyway, we ended up, we then joined up with Frozen Monkey. He was like, what level was he? Like 15 or something?
About that, yeah. And a lot of good gear.
Yeah, so he had his own camp. Very cool. You can teleport to, and he'd made this. He'd made his own place. It had 2 floors. It had turrets.
Yes, had workbenches and everything in it.
Exactly. So turrets were to stop other players coming near, or the enemies. Now the enemies, it's kind of a weird one because they're kind of like, well, there is feral ghouls in it and stuff, but they're creepy, aren't they? There's these things called the Scorched.
Yeah.
Who are like ghouls, kind of. There's people that are freshly nuked and that, but they
freshly ghouled.
They speak and they're dead creepy, like wispy, raspy voices saying stuff like "You will all die now," and they've got guns and they fucking running around shooting. So that's the most human-like thing. The enemies are very human, which is kind of weird considering super mutants are in there and shit.
Yeah.
But then
mole rats. You can't forget mole rats.
Yeah,
loads of mole rats.
Loads of them. And what we did then was we went on a map. Now this is server specific. There's events. Remember when we were playing Black Desert Online at EGX and there was that option to do a server event with a big boss? Well, we took on a couple of these server events, which are supposed to be like 20 odd people, but it was me, Liam, and Frozen Monkey.
Right.
And we'd only just kind of...
are you supposed to team up with other randoms to do it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
We did at one point, but...
So they just arrive, everyone congregates, that's the idea.
Yeah. Exactly. But because it was us 3, like we were wasting all of our ammo, which we'd only just accumulated.
Yeah. It was like a horde wave defense type thing
that
we were doing. We had to defend these plants from mole rats, then wolves, then packs of ghouls.
Yeah, and it took a lot of ammo, right?
Yeah.
So
because we were still like level 4 at the time, something like level 6.
Yeah, something similar. Yeah, level 6, and then they were all level 10. So we did that event. It was pretty bare bones because there's only 3 of us, and I can imagine if the servers are popping off, it'd be pretty cool. But we did a bit more of the story. There was this one moment where we did an event with the Scorched Beast. So there's waves of the Scorched that are like level 10. We're about level 8 at this point. And then this fucking level 50 flying gargoyle is the only way I can describe it. It turns out that that's what's turning these people into Scorched. It's like infecting them.
Right.
It's got bits of it remind me of The Last of Us big time, honestly, right?
Yeah.
There's like these like people, like, you know, Annihilation when there's those plant people.
Yeah.
There's lots of that, like Pompeii, you know, freshly nuked, but so fresh they got petrified. Yeah. There's these things called Scorched Beasts, and you see this level 50 months of flying overhead, and that created this kind of DayZ vibe where you're like, fuck, I better get in. Yeah. But then this other group of people came, and I wasn't wanted at that point, was I? I hadn't killed anybody.
No.
Right, yeah. So they were there, and we were all giving each other remotes, and everyone was friendly, and that was pretty fun because they had rocked up just for that event.
It's about 6 of us in total.
Yeah, and that was when the game was at its like. I can see that's kind of the vision that they're going for.
Yeah.
It's very MMO-ish.
What are your overall feelings of it?
Now that I've had the chance to play it, I am a lot warmer on the game, I have to say. Right. I did have a good time. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd still buy it on launch. Maybe if it's like a sale down the line, I might get it, because I can see myself having a good time playing this game.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I might wait and see what Bethesda do to support the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because with an online game like this,
because they're not. This isn't their. I mean, obviously they've got Elder Scrolls Online, but who develops that?
ZeniMax and
that's a different studio.
It's a different thing, yeah. So
and that's like a more traditional MMO.
Yeah, really.
So this is
trying to be Fallout.
Kind of new waters for them a little bit.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. 'Cause it depends. Because games like this, whenever they come out, you always have people who like hammer through the content when it's out. Like so. No doubt there'll be people who are like max level in like 10 hours after it comes out, And for me, it depends like how much there is to do.
Yeah.
Because if it's like it was only a 10-hour story, I wouldn't really be happy with that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but if Bethesda are like going to continue to keep supporting it, patching in like new quest lines and stuff like that, I can see it having a long life.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I might pick it up.
Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of got something to it. It doesn't feel very Fallout-ish. I'm quite annoyed that the main quest is like follow the overseer, and you constantly go to this place. She's left a note there, and then I'm at the airport. You go to the airport.
There's a lot of listening to audio tapes.
Yeah, you go to the airport. You find an audio tape she's left. I've gone here, so you're just following this breadcrumb trail.
Yeah.
It hasn't. It's fun. It is fun. You know, I did enjoy it, and I don't know how much of that's down to just me and Liam playing a game.
Yeah,
we could have played anything. But it did have a familiar, like that familiar feeling. I can't say. How'd you say familiar? How'd you say that?
Familiarity.
That's it. Yeah, that one. So it has that familiar feeling. You know what I mean? And like, I had a couple of issues. Like the weapons would break. I'd just be using a rifle and the weapon would break.
My biggest complaint of it is the sheer amount of like picking up junk, scrapping it, and then using it to craft stuff.
There is a lot of that now.
Your
you
default
guys are not the only ones saying this. I feel like everyone says it's too much picking up.
The default weapons are pretty shite, and you have to customize them to make them decent.
Yeah, Liam just put a scope on and a fucking long barrel on everything. He had a shotgun,
pretty much. Yeah,
for like
that was like
or...
that long. It was like he was hunting pigeons. Yeah,
I had this like massive shotgun, which was it made Jake and Frozen Monkey laugh a lot because Frozen Monkey was using a sniper rifle, and the shotgun was bigger than his sniper rifle.
Longer barrel.
Just because I put this massive barrel and like stock on it.
Yeah. It was funny.
And like, there's a lot of customization options, but it has that same problem Fallout 4 had, where it usually comes down to you can't find like one component.
Yeah.
It's like Jake was looking for, was it copper?
And aluminium. Yeah.
And I kept having to find screws to like make mods for my weapons, and I just couldn't find any screws.
So
I was picking everything up, scrapping it at a workbench.
You know,
that's probably my biggest complaint, to be honest.
That's what I don't like. That's one of my least favourite things about Fallout 4 specifically, because there was a lot of weapon modding and building, you know.
There's a lot of that in 76.
Yeah, and it was annoying. Like, it's exactly that. Like, you needed adhesive all the time, and there's just... everything needed adhesive, but there wasn't any adhesive in the world.
Here's the issue with this, right, is that, like, when you're playing Fallout 4 and stuff, right, you might want to upgrade your weapon, but if you don't want to do it right now, you want to get on with the story, you can, yeah? With this, you might not even want to do that, you want to get on with it. So we're getting on with it, we're looking for some power armor, having a nice time. My gun just breaks. I'm not even getting hit, I'm just shooting it, wears the condition down. It breaks. All of a sudden, my rifle that I've got like 200 bullets for, it's a good weapon, I have to find adhesive, it's genuinely adhesive, to repair it. So
can you do that anywhere, or do you need to be at a station?
You have to use a weapon bench,
which has quite a few of them scattered around. So like there was one at
obviously your camp put one in.
Right? But like I find generally all the built-up areas had like a tinkerer's workbench or whatever. You know what I mean? So but the fact that I was forced upon me, so I was using a hatchet for a lot of it. Like I did a mission with a hatchet because we were looking for a decent one, we just couldn't find it. So that is a bit of an annoying issue. It feels like. It does feel not as Fallout-ish as I thought, but it is quite fun. And playing with your friends is what's going to make or break it.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm in a weird position because I love Fallout. I really, really like Fallout, and that's almost why I'm less interested in this, because of the multiplayer stuff, which I'm not generally a huge fan of. I do like multiplayer. I love multiplayer games. But when I've got this thing in my head that this is a Fallout game, but it's got the stuff about multiplayer that I'm not a huge fan of in it.
Yeah,
that's all, and that's what I've been hearing. So, but I'm not ruling it out at all. I think I'm where you are, Liam. Like, I'll probably look at it and pick it up, because I do like a game. I do like a good multiplayer game I can just jump into, you know, on a Saturday morning over a period of months.
Yeah,
I'm looking for that at the moment. Actually, you know, that's what I want. So it might be it might be the perfect
I reckon
one for that.
That might be a good one to fill that sort of like gap.
Yeah. The thing is, the best way to describe it, is that the worst thing about it is the other people. But the best thing about it is the other people.
Yeah.
So it really does live and die on that. Which, if a multiplayer game wasn't that, what is it?
Yeah.
So I think they've achieved what they were hoping to set out.
Yeah.
And by the way, just so we could do it in the podcast, just so we could talk about it, I did do a bit of fucking killing, didn't I? To try and see what would happen if I was hunted. So I axed a man and...
Didn't kill him.
Didn't kill him. I just axed him one time, and I said to him, "Didn't I? If you can
asked
hear
his
me,
permission,
I'm just gonna. I want to see what happens if I become wanted." So I axed him. I had 11 cap bounty on
an
me.
11 cap bounty.
I love that you've put hit him with an axe. Squash that down into just the one word, axed.
Yeah.
I hit him with. I axed him.
Where
did you axe him?
I axed him a question, isn't it? No, I actually axed him in the neck.
back.
Yeah. Here, look,
Right.
this area. If you can't.
And he did not die.
No. He was actually just on a workbench.
He was
And
minding his own business.
He wasn't talking, and I said, "If you can hear me, I'm not trying to kill you. I just want to see what happens if I do a bit of PvP."
How did he react? Or how did they
Actually,
react?
perfectly, because he was well higher level than me.
Yeah, so he was a lot higher level, and we kind of ran away for a little bit, and he followed us. But, the old emote wheel saved the day. Bit of emote diplomacy.
Yeah, I was speaking to him, and I was like, "Mate, I come in peace. I just wanted to see what would happen," and he gave me a thumbs up and ran away.
He gave you the thumbs up and a love heart.
Oh, yeah, and a love heart, yeah. So Frozen Monkey
it saved
scared me because he said that everyone on the map would be able to see me now, and I've got a bounty on my head, and I was like, "Boys," they were like my bodyguards or something. I was like, "Listen, it's not worth me dying over."
I didn't want this life.
Yeah, because I was playing as a character called Peter Molyneux, and I was just going.
He played Peter Molyneux at full charisma.
Yeah, charisma 10. That's the only thing I only put.
You made him charisma 10.
Yeah, I made him charisma 10. And so one of the abilities that you get is you get a thing called bodyguards, and when you're surrounded by other people, you're stronger.
How does? Because there's no NPCs in the world. Mm-hmm. How would you?
I thought charisma was going to be the shittest one, but it's funny, and I thought I'll do charisma 10.
Maybe they've almost overcompensated. Maybe
it manifests in like XP boosts and damage boosts,
based on cooperation with others.
Yeah, so the 4 that I had was 1. Everybody in the team got a 5% XP boost, and I leveled that up so it was a 15% XP boost.
I had that as well, so we got another 5 on top of that.
Nice.
Then I had something called bodyguards, which I thought affected the whole team, but in fact, like anyone with charisma 10, it only affected themselves.
But it's a nice party support.
Yeah, it basically gave me, for every member of the team, I got a 10 damage boost. So let's say my weapon did 20 damage, and I had Frozen Monkey and Liam, I was doing 40.
Yeah.
And you can stack that up. And then the other one I had was, if everyone sleeps in the same camp, we all go hungry 40% slower. It's got a lot of stuff like that. And the other one wasn't to do with eating. Like, if I cook food for you guys, I'm better at it, and it does better bonuses.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. No, that's hilarious. Okay, so you've kind of warned me on it. We literally have not talked about this at all because we were going to talk about it on the podcast, right? So I didn't know what you thought of the beta or anything. So what were you going to say, Liam? Sorry.
I was just going to say, I've definitely got a much better impression of it now that I've had hands on myself.
Yeah.
But I'm still like teetering on the line where I kind of do want to play it, but probably not at launch.
Yeah.
I kind of want to wait and see what they do with it.
And for those that are wondering, and this is one news story that got me interested, is that the game's 45 gig, and there's been a 54 gig day one patch, which obviously is going to replace that 45 gig. Yeah. But now the game's 9 gig bigger.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to be. So what I'm trying to say is, I wonder if people.
What's that?
It can't be 9 gig of just fucking ini file bug fixes. They probably added more things. So maybe those buildings I was on about, maybe a lot of the issues that we're talking about here, they might be fixed. Whatever it is, 9 gig added. Music's good for it as well.
It'll probably be something like textures and stuff.
I was going to say, probably textures and sounds and things
like
just
Jake
assets, extra trees or something. Do you know what I
mean? It's a very nice looking game. The art style's nice. It's lots of like Fallout was usually like a bit grey and orange.
Yeah. So when's it out?
14th, I think.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Of course it is. I've got the list in front of me right here.
Oh, is that a segue? Were you just forcing one?
No, but I thought it was later in the month.
Perfect time.
I can see that it is the 14th. So that's a lot of games that we've discussed this week. Great job, guys, getting through a lot of games there.
Yeah, thanks.
So new releases coming up in the next week or so. Like I said at the start of the thing, there's a lot of big games, right? So Hitman 2 is out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
It's a scrub only version
on November the 13th. If you're muggle.
Yeah,
and didn't put enough money in.
Yeah.
Hitman 2. There's been some pretty warm stuff about it.
Yeah.
It looks quite.
A lot of people calling it a good evolution of the last Hitman game, which is what they wanted, I think.
Someone saying it's not. Why did I read? Someone saying it was a lot. It's not just more. It's actually loads more Hitman. There's quite a lot of material in there to get you.
This is going to be my number one wait for sale game on buy.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. So literally more content, literally more stuff in Hitman 2 by the sounds of it, and it's kind of making me want to, because I never got into Hitman 2016, and people really rate that game, and I never got, so it's making me want to have a look at that.
Same, and I love stealth games. I've played all of Hitman. I said it last podcast as well. It's like so out of character for me to have not played it, and I don't want to make it 2 in a row that I've not played.
It's weird Hitman as well. You know, in the Thursday show that we just did, I was trying to I was writing the kind of my voiceover bit, and I was coming to write Hitman, and I wrote Hitman. The voice is a stealth game, but I was like, yeah, but it's a lot of stuff, isn't it? It's almost puzzly.
You can play it pretty much any way you
That's
want.
what's
You
so
want to
good
go
about
in guns
it,
blazing, you can.
I mean,
you can just blast the. You won't get a great kind of thing.
No,
but
your score won't be great, but you'll get through it.
I don't know if they still do it, but like in the older games, like you got incentivized if you did it properly stealthy, you'd get more weapons and stuff to use later on.
But if you just whipped out what are they called, the ballers, what are they called,
silver
ballers,
What I just said then, when you think about it, you'd always unlock better weapons, but then if you use them weapons, you wouldn't get a good score. So you'd only have to really be using fibre wire, the syringe, and a silenced pistol,
or environmental if you could.
So,
that's it. Yeah,
it's like poison a drink or something,
causing accidents, isn't it?
But instead of just mowing down and everything.
People saying that Hitman 2016 is a great sandbox game, and that's basically what this is. Times whatever, it's bigger and whatever. So that is again PC, PS4, Xbox One, November the 13th, which is Tuesday. The same day is Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which is on PS4 and Xbox One. And this is the game that I've pre-ordered.
So have I.
But you've pre-ordered.
Yeah.
I have.
And Liam.
I have ordered.
That's the full set of that's pre-orders.
Yeah.
But
we know what it's going to be.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we've played it, and I need to say that I really, really like Ratchet and Clank, and that is my high bar for remakes. Crash Insane Trilogy was very popular, kind of highly rated, and I've played that in like friends' house and stuff, like where you just kind of you've stayed over or something.
You just put it on.
You're having a bit of breakfast, play a bit of it's so perfect for that, and that is part of the reason why I got Spyro, because it's going to be a great Christmas game for me. Like when people come over, I'm just gonna fire up a bit of Spyro.
I get that
because everyone likes.
That's exactly it. Yeah, Sean is a big Spyro fan, better than Crash. When Crash came out, she was like, I wonder if we're going to do it with Spyro. Yeah. I told you in the last podcast we played it on the PS TV recently. Yeah. So I just had to do it, didn't I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And also it's £30.
It'd be rude not to. Yeah.
So it's
just less than that as well. Do you know what I mean? For 3 games.
Yeah. So that is a big one for us. So expect some Spyro related opinions on the channel next week. The next day, on a weird date, is Fallout 76, which is November the 14th.
It's our Wednesday.
A Wednesday?
That seems odd day to launch a game.
No one does that, unless you're an indie game arriving on the Switch, which has releases every day, which is a bit weird.
That's just when they can fit them in,
and Steam and shit like that.
I don't know, maybe it's a good middle ground for everyone, I guess, because the servers go live for everyone across the world at the same time.
Possibly, you're right.
So maybe it's just like the best middle ground they could get.
So that is PC, PS4 and Xbox One, November 14th. We've already talked a lot about
There we go.
Then we have got, there's a lot of games, but then we've got Battlefield 5 Deluxe Edition. So this is the second possible entry point.
This is silver tier.
Yeah. So, to be clear, Battlefield 5, you can already play it if you subscribe to Origin Access Premier for 90 quid a year or $100, and that is a subscription service. You can play Battlefield 5 right now. However, if you're buying Battlefield 5, the Deluxe Edition, which is more expensive, you can play that early as well, but not quite as early. That's on November the 15th.
It's funny though, because last week we had our new releases section, Battlefield 5. This week, our new releases section, Battlefield 5. And you know what's going to happen next week, don't you?
Battlefield 5, innit? And that'll be the one that I'm getting, because, it's just...
cheap seats, innit?
Exactly, yeah. But even then, it's still 60 bastard pounds.
I don't care. I've got Spyro to play the next
Exactly, mate.
Exactly,
30 quid Spyro, or what is it? 80 quid Battlefield 5.
It's like an extra 20 quid for the early access to Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
So that's throw another tenner on there. That's Spyro.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's a no-brainer.
So that we'll keep ourselves entertained, and then we'll talk about Battlefield 5 on the date that it comes
out. Happens,
for the Muggles. And then we've got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee for the Switch on November the 16th.
That's
the Friday.
This is the day one for me, and. Yeah, I've had this on order since it was actually announced.
Right.
I was saying to Jake earlier, there's been one constant in my life, and it's Pokemon.
Awaiting Pokemon.
yeah, probably awaiting.
The one constant in my life that I've never given up on, that I've always liked, is Pokemon. It will forever be a part of me. And so, yeah, I love Pokemon. I'll be on this day one. I'm really excited for it. I know a lot of people aren't because they're not into the Pokemon Go mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to love this game. I just know
explain that. Explain the Pokemon Go thing.
So Pokemon Let's Go is sort of a hybrid between the Pokemon classic RPG formula and the Pokemon Go catching mechanics. As in, you don't battle random Pokemon anymore.
Yeah.
You just catch them.
So you'd find one, like you'd go in on the Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, and you'd go into the grass and you don't
have to battle them and wear them down anymore. You've just got you can give them berries and throw the balls at them like you do in Pokemon Go for the mobile.
So you just catch them and then battle in like arena battles or what you call them?
There's trainer battles. There's still trainer battles and gym battles.
Yeah.
The only thing really biggest difference is the catching has changed.
Okay.
So like you say,
but it looks quite nice as well.
But for a lot of people, they're not into that. Which I understand.
Yeah, but like I played it, and it's not as like Pokemon Go-ish as you'd think. Yeah, so you've got those bits, but like
they gamed it up a little bit.
It feels better than Pokemon Go. Yeah, catching in Let's Go.
And like like say you're in like I don't know Viridian Forest or whatever it's called. Is that right?
That is right. Yeah.
Right, and then you've got like you go through the grass and whatever. You'll find the Caterpie, catch him, don't catch him, whatever. But there's still loads of trainers spotted around.
Yeah,
so there's still loads of battles on the way. So it's not like there's no battles until you get to a gym. It's still constantly
you bump
battles.
into other trainers,
and you still get XP for catching Pokemon.
Exactly, it's a perfect Switch game, isn't it? And of course it is. It's like basically it's like first party thing.
This will be massive. This
might be my most anticipated game of the year. I think.
Really?
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
That's just because I'm such a big Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Gyarados t-shirt.
It's nice. It's a good t-shirt. That.
Yeah, for the benefit of the audio listeners.
Trust us, is a good t-shirt.
That's how big a Pokemon fan I am. I'm wearing a Gyarados t-shirt.
And that is probably going to get overshadowed by maybe one of the only games that could draw my attention away from that, which is Civilization 6, which is also on
which will sell better.
Which is also on the Switch the same day. So I was looking at that, but it's actually really expensive. It's like 45 quid.
Yeah.
And
what a surprise!
The Switch tax.
Yeah, right? the Civilization games are quite pricey anyway because they're like I bet you there's tons of people out there who don't really play games, but they will play Civilization. It's just like I know I used to work with a guy.
Professor Layton effect, isn't it?
Yeah. It's exactly, and it looks okay. It just looks like a kind of distilled version. Like if I don't know if anyone remembers, but you could get Civilization. What was it called? Like Civilization.
Was it Revolution?
Yes, it was Revolution on console on 360 and stuff. So it wasn't
that one.
So it's not quite that, but it does look like. In terms of like the way they've animated the leaders and stuff, it just looks a bit more console-y.
Yeah.
So that's coming. Civilization 6 is coming to Switch on the same day as Pokemon Let's Go. So it's a packed week. There's a lot of other little stuff in there that I haven't mentioned that probably would get mentioned any other week, but we don't want to be sat here forever, do we? So Spyro for us.
We'll be all on Spyro, won't we?
Spyro and Pokemon for me.
Yeah,
and then Pokemon. Week after that, bit of Battlefield on the standard,
regular old scrub edition, isn't it?
Yeah. November the 20th. Things are after this week. I'm just looking at the releases here.
Things start to tail off a bit.
A little bit, yeah. Things are slowing down a little bit, but there's still plenty to come. The start of December, the first week or two of December is quite big. There's a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah.
That Christmas shopping season.
Yeah, exactly.
In full effect.
So we'll see you again next week for no doubt some Spyro Reignited Trilogy impressions, as promised. Got through a lot of games. Got through a lot of games this week. It's been a good podcast, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've got Obra Dinn, return to the Obra Dinn for next week as well.
Nice.
I've been holding that back rather than just blast it all off now, innit? Keep a bit for the boys.
Look at that. What a sacrifice you've made for everyone there. Thanks everyone for listening and watching to the Special Moves podcast. It is available if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, on basically anything you can think of in terms of podcasts. It's on iTunes. It's on SoundCloud. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's on Spotify,
Podbean, Castbox.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so you can get a link and put it in your RSS feed. And if you're a patron and if you're unaware, you can get an ad-free version. You just go onto our Patreon page. There'll be a custom link for you at the top right of the page where you can paste into your whatever podcast app you use, and you can subscribe and get an ad-free version of the podcast every single week. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
We'll see you next time.